Hi, everybody. It's meteorologist Joe Chaffee on this Wednesday, the 5th of July. I hope everybody had a great holiday. And I want to start off with the tropical system that is now sitting north of 10 north and between 35 and 40 degrees west. You can see there's a fairly large concentrated ball of thunderstorms. It's kind of elongated a bit north-south, but we still don't have what appears to be a well-defined circulation, although some heavier convection seems to be developing this morning. Right there, you see in the darker spots of red there with the higher cloud tops. That's a sign that a little bit of more intense convection could be forming. We'll see if it really consolidates into a tight circulation center of some kind. But I want to show you on the water vapor imagery something that's going on. And this is going to be an issue in another day or two. A large upper low. If you remember last week, we had on the loop, we actually had two of these upper air storms sitting out in the Atlantic. Well, another one has dropped down southward to about 25 degrees north, and it's going to be creating a rather hostile wind environment once this system gets west of 50 degrees west, assuming that this upper low stays there. So for now, conditions are conducive for some further development. We'll watch it to see what it does this afternoon and evening. The Hurricane Center is still rating this at about a 70% probability of becoming a tropical depression or a tropical storm in the next 48 hours. Also note there's a lot of dry air to the north that extends from the Atlantic, from just east of the Windward Islands northeastward to the Canary Islands and beyond. So there's quite a bit of dry air to the north of this system. So it is facing some issues with regards to development. And this is one of the reasons why you got to be careful when you use these global models that spit out Category 3 hurricanes 10, 12, 15 days in advance. I've said 99 times out of 100, it's going to be wrong. And here's where the Hurricane Center, in its depiction from 8 a.m. today, has indicated the system has become better defined, but the thunderstorm activity in it is not well organized. Conditions remain favorable, and I agree with that. Until in a couple of days, when it gets into this area further west of 50 degrees west, if that upper low is still sitting out there, it's going to encounter a hostile environment for development. Now here's the latest. We call them the spaghetti plots, because they look like strands of spaghetti, albeit in all different colors. And you can see they're pretty well clustered. All of them take it north of the islands and north of Puerto Rico. Over the next 5 to 7 days, depending on some models here only go out 5 days, some go out 168 hours or a full week. But bottom line is, even if this system does become something, or even if it just maintains its status as a tropical depression, it's likely to go, it's going to go north of the islands and north of Puerto Rico, and probably, at least initially, it will settle itself east of the Bahamas. And in terms of intensity, now this is kind of drawn back from yesterday, where we had, virtually all of the models, except for maybe one or two, making this a tropical storm, and a few of them making this a hurricane. You can see they're all kind of clustered on the low end of tropical storm to a strong tropical depression. So this does not, even if it were to become eventually a tropical storm and gather a name on the name list, I don't think it's going to be able to overcome that hostile environment. That's why you see a lot of the intensity models are backing off after 72 hours, because by then it'll be west of 50 west and in that shear environment, or at least that's what the model is picking up. Now, with respect to weather back home, you know what? Why don't we look at the satellite loop first, or the radar loop first, and you can see where the thunderstorm action is concentrated today in parts of the southern plains and the lower and middle Mississippi Valley, and also in the upper Midwest into parts of Wisconsin. And when we look at the satellite loop here in the Northeast, we've got this nice, beautiful spot, a chunk of dry air that is built down from the north and from the Great Lakes. And the cloud line is somewhere in central New Jersey on southward, but from there northward through New England, it's an absolutely beautiful day. And there's our view again of the depression. So let me just jump to the GFS, and we'll take a look at this. There's a little wave that's moving off the Mid-Atlantic coast today, and that is, oh, this is actually the new GFS just updated. So you know what? Let me refresh. Let's freshen this up a little bit and go back to the 6E. And we'll start it off from this morning with this wave off the Carolinas. You can see in general, we've got this high to the north that's sort of draped across New England. And then you've got this, kind of a stationary frontal zone running east-west. So it's very warm and humid here, and we're getting a bit of an onshore flow that's going to be developing to the north of that front. And that's going to set us up for clouds and maybe some showers tomorrow and for Friday. And going forward, there's the chance for some showers on Thursday. I don't think it's going to be a widespread rain. It might be more scattered in nature. And then again on Friday, when this weather front moves on through Friday night, and then it looks like we'll have a dry weekend with another little high building in. And overall, by the way, the pattern continues to suggest weather fronts coming through every couple of days. This is next Friday with rather strong system, warm front, cold front combination coming through here, if this is real, and then another high behind that. So, if it gets hot, it'll do it for a day or so, and that's it. And then cooler air comes in to replace it. And in the West, it's pretty much, summer weather continues there. So there really isn't too much happening from that respect. And just a quick look at the upper air pattern. There was one model run of the GFS that wanted to get rid of this trough, and that's just not going to be the case. Just look at how, here we are at Thursday. So here's the next trough for the weekend. You see how this is a pretty strong active jet for the month of July, and the upper ridge is in the west, and that's where the heat is, and that's where it's going to stay for the most part. That ridge just kind of, it flexes its muscle, strengthens a little, weakens a little. But overall, it just kind of stays there in the west. It expands a little bit into the southern plains, but it is a west-dominated ridge. And in the east, you just get trough after trough coming in, which means cold front after cold front. Here's one for next weekend, the weekend of the 14th. And then, there's still troughing here in the east on the 16th day of this 7-day, which is now July 21st. You still have a trough in the east and a ridge in the west. So those of you looking for prolonged heat waves in the eastern part of the United States, they ain't going to happen. You got to go out to the west. All right, we'll check on things as we go through the day. We'll have updates on whatever's happening with that tropical system on meteorologistjoechaffee.com. Angry Ben is back with New York City weather on nycweathernow.com. And as always, a big thank you to all my YouTube subscribers. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. Participate in the conversation if you will. I really would appreciate it. Any comments, criticisms, suggestions, ideas, thoughts, just post them on there because I do try to respond to everybody. And hit that little red subscribe button so you get notifications when new videos are up. And by the way, just a quick mention. I'm going to have some time on my hands. And I'm going to do a little expanding in the YouTube area. I'm going to figure out how to do something live, and maybe soon I'll start doing that time permitting. So look forward to that, folks. If I might be able to do some live weather, do some live streaming, and we can have some real-time conversation. All right, have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.